biggest isolation in my life has been just being a single mom and raising Jenna on my own. And when I first had her, I was alone. I lost everything and had to move back home with my mom and to face the fact that I've got to let the whole world see that I have lost everything and have to move back to my mom. And I had this attitude of, I don't need help. I can do this on my own. Of course, I had to get over that. But when Jenna was 2, we moved to Alabama, just she and I, 9 hours away. I moved there for the job. So there was no family unit in support. And so her whole life, we have not had a family unit. A couple of years ago when she started middle school and was having some challenges, I really felt like I needed to focus on finding a church that catered more to the youth and so that she could be ministered to. God said to me when I was praying, and it was in the process of getting diagnosed and learning that it's autism and not other issues, was we had been to every church in town, and he said, try Lewisville. Try Lewisville. And of course, us being Methodist as we are, we came straight there, and the very first 10 minutes we came into the sanctuary, she said, Mom, this is it. I want to join. And at that time, I had no idea what role this church would play in our lives. And she has, she's emerged. It has been such a joy to me to not only see her be saturated by God's people and enveloped into the youth program here, but the friends that have come out of the woodwork that are in my life now, I would have never had if I hadn't taken that step of faith. Every life has bumps in the road, but when she had her accident in February, that was like a crater falling in the highway. I thought, there's no way. What are we going to do? And I was at my kitchen table, and I was having one of those moments of feeling sorry for myself. Woe is me, I'm pitiful, and screaming, crying. And because my mother, she had forgotten to get her church to send a prayer shawl. And something about that broke me. It made me realize we have no one. And I was at my kitchen table, and I was praying, and I was crying, and I heard something outside. And I went to the door, and there was a bag sitting at my door with a prayer shawl in it. It came from this church, and I have never felt such amazing love as I did in that one moment. And even when we have major instances like the surgery and the accident, is that God has been there every single time. Yeah, I've learned that isolation to community is amazing, but I've also learned that I've got to get my foot back in my shoe and take a step. Because if I don't, I'm still going to be sitting at my kitchen table blubbering and feeling sorry for myself because I have not a prayer shawl. The change that I've seen in Jenna since we have kind of emerged from the isolation to fellowship is with the autism. She was unable to look someone in the eye and talk freely. I have seen that change in her. She is able to speak with smile and confidence when she looks at someone in the eye. And just a few weeks ago, at church, when she was speaking to an individual that she was not familiar with, and he was asking her about her surgery, and she was so confident. She looked him right in the eye, and she was smiling, and she was answering his questions without anxiety, and it was just amazing for me to see. Since we have come to this church to now, she has emerged, and I think a lot about the butterfly and how she come from a chrysalis, and she's just growing. And Jenna's self-esteem has tremendously since we've been here, and she's been a part of a program that loves and accepts. Before, she would have shied away because she didn't have the courage, or she didn't feel accepted, or she felt judged. And she doesn't feel that now. And I have to credit God's people for that. And I have to credit the people at this church that God has sent to her. It's just been amazing.